co-main event in the featherweight division, another longtime UFC veteran, Alex Caceres. But I mean, how about Alex Caceres, right?
You've been around forever.
I mean, 34 years of age. He started 0-2 in the UFC, 1-3 through his first 4 UFC fights. And this was in 2011, 2012. And look at him now, 28th UFC appearance for Alex Caceres, minus 175 here against Daniel the Pit Pineda, plus 150. Second UFC stint for Pineda, and just one loss for the first 4 fights of that stint. Brian Petrie, you going with the favorite Caceres or Pineda the dog?
Yeah, I like this fight. Alex Caceres, I'm glad you gave him props, John. This is a guy that doesn't get, Ultimate Fighter 12. Most people don't even know who won that season. People think that, that's the Bruce Leroy season. That's the Michael Johnson season. Jonathan Brookins won that fucking show. You know what I mean? That guy didn't last long. It's crazy that Caceres has been there step for step with Michael Johnson. And I love where he's at in his career. This guy went to 35. That was too much on his body. He's a long, lanky guy. Back up. Now he's fighting for fun. The Julian Rosa fight, that kick he landed, that's just flowy stuff. He's out there flowing, which I love. He's doing grappling outside of the UFC as well. He's staying active. He's durable. He doesn't give enough credit for how durable he is on the feet. It's very hard to put him out on the ground. Unless he's going down with Chrome Gracie, he can hang on the ground. He's very good on the ground. You got Pineda, who I have faded a lot because this guy has been injured. He's melted a couple USADA piss cups. And, he's been out of the octagon for a while. And I was all in on Tucker Lutz his last time out, and he bullied Tucker Lutz, bully-balled him, and just egg on my face. Pineda's very good, very dangerous in that first round and a half. His cardio usually fades. The Tucker Lutz fight, it didn't fade. Caceres is a well-rounded fighter who can win at any time. John, I was going to play it safe this week, and I was going to go, no multi-units. I've had a week off. Your boy's sitting in the sun, not really gambling much. Right. Well, let's go 5 units on Caceres. Nuts on the table. Let's go. We need a comeback, Johnny. I don't want a bottle broken over my head. Let's go.
All right. So a 5-unit trigger on Alex Caceres. That is an $875 wager, I believe, to yield $500. And by the way, I have had such little water today, Kenny, that right now my piss could melt. So I'm going to take a sip as you give us your prediction on Caceres and Daniel Pineda.
Let's go. This was a tough one for me as well. I think for Pineda, I think he can get some good work done, not maybe from a submission perspective necessarily, but on top with some ground and pound. He's got nasty elbows. When he's in his groove, he's tough to stop. He has been around a lot like Caceres, though. You never really know what kind of Daniel Pineda you're going to get. There's certain times where I'm like, dude, this guy looks phenomenal. Looks like he can go for a run here. But then there's other times where I'm like, he looks lackluster. He gets tired. Like, Brian mentioned his cardio. He struggled with that in the past, late in fights. So he's always been dangerous early. But as far as, going deep into the third round, I think, it hasn't always been there for him. I agree with Brian. He did look good in his last fight. So it just makes things that much more tricky. Now let's talk about Caceres. Look at the improvements that he's made, the maturity that he has shown in the octagon as of late, the decision-making. He's been able to really put it together so much better. I think that Caceres and his experience makes him the favorite here for good reason. It's just tough when I get a guy like Pineda who's been inconsistent. Can he win? Yes. But I like Caceres. I like his consistency. I like the fact that he's been able to put it all together. Seems like everything is going well for him in a training perspective. So I like Caceres as well here. I'm not willing to do a multi-unit bet, but I do like Caceres here. So let's go.
All right, both guys on Alex Caceres minus 175. And yes, Cody, you do still owe the podcast a tattoo. See to it that you get that ink. My man. All right, let us get to the main event. Third-ranked Kai Kara France minus 110. Number 7, Amir Albazi, minus 110. That's a pick 'em, ladies and gentlemen. Albazi out of Iraq. That should be the pronunciation of the week. Everybody's saying Iraq. Albazi out of Iraq has won 5 in a row overall, 16-1 as a pro, 4-0 in the UFC. Finisher, 3 of those UFC wins by stoppage. Only pro loss by decision to Jose Shorty Torres back in 2019. As such, Bri, he gets the opportunity of a career here. First UFC main event against recent interim title challenger Kai Kara France. Who do you like in the main event?
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get in front of this. I cannot roll my R's. I have a whale's tongue. It's the widest tongue you've ever seen. So I'm just going to go Cara France here, so I'm not going to be too embarrassed. Right. I love this fight. And the reason I love it is because it's so hard to pick. This is the definition of a pick 'em because you got Amir Albazi, who's kind of lit the world on fire at 125 when he's came in. A lot of hype behind this guy. And he hasn't really fought anybody. Then you got Cara France, who's fought fucking everybody, right? And he had that real groove going there for a while, beating Askar Askarov, who's the boogeyman in the division. No one wants to fight that guy, right? To go and fighting Brandon Moreno and having a pretty competitive fight till he got dropped with the body kick. Cara France is so technical that I'm worried that his volume's just not there. But this fight thunderstruck me, right? I had a dream about this. This is how pathetic and loser I am, dreaming about fights. But Amir Albazi is definitely, I think he's better on the ground. Obviously, Cara France has been submitted before, but his takedown defense is very good. How is Amir going to get it there? I think it's going to be a club and sub. I think Amir, even though he doesn't have the technical prowess Cara France does, Cara has been known to get caught in fights, at least be hit. Albazi drops him, jumps on something a la the Brandon Royval fight, which is what Cara France was in. He got submitted in that fight as well. This goes against everything I believe in with handicapping. You should pick the guy with the better resume, the guy with better talent, all this stuff. But just something thunderstruck me with Amir Albazi. So I'm going to go with Amir Albazi. I like that to pick him. Hopefully Kenny goes the opposite way here so we can get a little action. But give me Amir Albazi.
Amir Albazi minus 110 right now. On the other side, Cara France, Ken-Flo, a lot of high-level experience acknowledged there by Brian Petrie. He challenged Brandon Moreno for the interim flyweight title. That was last year. He then pulled out of a fight earlier this year against Alex Perez due to injury. Now gets the main event shine, actually, for the first time in the UFC. Cara France, minus 110, same number on Albazi. World wants to know, Kenny Florian, which way you going?
Yeah, Albazi is a problem. I love his pressure, his pacing, and his pursuit of submissions when the fight hits the ground. I do think he definitely has vulnerabilities on the feet still, but he is tough. He's got a chin. He's durable, and I think he's very motivated right now. For me, experience-wise, doesn't have those big names on his resume, but he is very, very good and someone to watch for sure. I don't know exactly how this is going to go, of course, but I do believe in Cara France and his game. I think that his camp is still one of the best in the world. I think he is going to be motivated by this main event spot here. And again, I look at the Askar Askarov fight and I say, well, maybe his volume wasn't there where it should have been, but I do think he was very well prepared to take on a very determined grappler in that fight. I think he can build off of that experience and get a good win here. I think he's coming in here confident. I think he does feel that he's going to have a huge advantage on the feet. I'm not sure he finishes him, but I definitely believe that he can finish someone like Albazi on the feet. I don't know exactly if it's going to happen early, but I think later, maybe third round, fourth round is when those punches and strikes can start to accumulate. Frustration set in against a guy who's less experienced, and he can win. So I like Cara France here. I'm going to put, let's put 2 units on. Let's go 2 units.